As promised, I am publishing it with the permission of the author. This is how 4 enter in Kharkov. They tried to roll into the populace. Magyar's Litans are just some kind of horror. They're just fucked up. Kamikazes generally fly on the green. They don't give a fuck about slaves and cocks. Their number is such that on the 300th they use 2 to 3 kamikazes to finish off. There is no talk at all about transport and walking people. The entire Swarm 4 is flying there. They go together. With the eyes, kamikazes fly about 20 kilometers. We ran into a very dense forest. This dick tried to fly into us, but couldn't find a loophole because of the branches. And guess what? He just sat down next to us at the exit and turned off the engine, so as to not waste the battery, and take off to the desired location. And we were in no hurry. We sat, and we don't sit at all. Looks like he's fucked up. Wait, an artillery pointed at us. Like alive, stayed. I don't know. There's a mine a meter away from us. Exploded. You could hear like splinters of a branch cutting. We immediately ran like antelopes. Fortunately, the Kakliad dugouts were nearby. There, they ran in and covered us for another half hour. In the meantime, ran. They were right on their heels. And another 300th down the long pipe, crawled so this kamikaze is right behind him. The pipe flew into the air, jerking off and mocking him. Our Litans are generally wow. As they say, the connection was not interrupted in this pipe, considering that they fly 10 to 15 kilometers before these places. Then the boys pulled out the 300th and turned it on. All the slaves are on the postcard, and they don't give a fuck at all. These slaves, they covered the whole group. Such bullshit, brother. There is no authority over them. We send rockets into space. And the fucking. We can't turn off the copter. Magyar birds are at it again. Translated from a Russian's telegram. They don't give a fuck about slaves and cocks. Oh, Russia. Their number is such that on the 300th they use 2 to 3 kamikazes to finish off. Guess he's saying that the Yukis have so many drones in the area that cargo 300s, wounded Russians, get blown up by multiple kamikazes now. Sounds about right. Slave status? On the postcard. Coward in the pipe. Dick Copter jerks off behind. Like rocket. Ass launch. On the postcard. I'm just here for the poetry. The slaves are on the postcard. Kamikazes. Jerking off. Slaves. On the postcard. They don't give a fuck about slaves and cocks. What? Does the evil of Hato truly know no bounds? They don't give a fuck about slaves and cocks. Based in hetero. We send rockets into space. And the fucking we can't turn off the copter. These stupid machine translations are among the funniest things of this war. Kamikazes generally fly on the green. They don't give a fuck about slaves and cocks. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Oh, it's EW. Jamming works because you tune it to the right frequency and cut off the controller. But you need the right frequency. If they change frequencies often, they will not have the right one, thus making it ineffective. You have to be watching and intercepting transmissions to get the right one. Takeaways. Yuki's FPVs have an operational range of 20 kilometers, but usually operate 10 to 15 kilometers in Russian lines. Yukis don't mind using 2 to 3 FPV drones on a wounded Ziggy. Zigger vehicles get a swarm. Always fly with a spotter drone high up. Yuki FPVs give no fucks about Russian EW. At least the electronic warfare issued to the infantry. An FPV drone can call artillery in on you. Ziggy complains they don't have a solution to Yuki FPV drones. Kamikaze status? Not giving a fuck about slaves and cocks. I will now attempt to translate it manually. Here goes nothing. As I've promised before, I'm posting the details with author's permission. Here's how the guys move in on Kharkiv direction. So, we tried rolling into town. Flyer of Magyar are just pure horror. Totally fucked up. Kamikaze drones flying directly over the green. Translator note, patches of vegetation with trees and such, where soldiers hide from being visible, and don't give a fuck about any electronic warfare or shit like that. Their numbers are such that they easily can use 2 to 3 kamikaze drones to finish off a single wounded soldier. Don't get me started about transport or people walking. The whole swarm instantly flied to them. They operate with eyes. Translator note, recon from above. The kamikaze drones fly around 20 kilometers. We ran into a very dense forest strip. Translator note, Soviet approach to plant strips of trees. This fucker tried to fly in for us, but didn't find a gap between the branches. And just imagine it. He just landed the drone beside us, turned off the engines as to not waste the battery charge, so that he could lift off when the time comes. We weren't in a hurry, so we just sat there for quite some time, not giving a fuck. Seems like the drone operator got tired of waiting and called in an artillery strike to our position. I'm not sure even how the fuck we stayed alive during that. A mine exploded like a meter from us. We heard how shrapnel cut the branches off the trees. We ran like antelopes. Thank God some cocoa dugouts were close by. We ran into them and they shelled us for like a half hour more. And while we were running, they were following us close by. One of the wounded guys crawled into some long pipe. And you know what? One of the kamikaze drones followed him into the pipe, jerking around and making fun of him. Our flyers are shocked. How the fuck did they not lose connectivity inside the pipe? Take into account that they fly in 10 to 15 kilometers to reach these places. Then the guys tried to pull out the wounded guy, turned on all of the available electronic warfare equipment, jammers, everything while in the open, and their drones don't give a single fuck about those warfare equipment boxes. They've covered, translator note, hit the whole group. This is the type of shit we're dealing with here, bro. There's no way to stop them. We can launch fucking rockets into space, but can't jam a fucking quadcopter.